Well, I'm just doing a return visit to Newland here because there's been some exciting developments. Come inside and I'll show you. Been doing a bit more digging, excavating to get the floor level back down to where it once would have been. And it might be a bit better illuminated now. Electric lights, but work is ongoing. Just give a quick flash around of the light in here, because last time I did some footage in here it was quite poorly illuminated. The excavations, there's the blowing hearth and the foot of the main furnace stack over there. And yes, what has happened since is that the adjoining property, we've always worked here for like 30 years and there's been a partition in this archway, so I had never seen what was through the other side, but the partition came down recently and revealed some interesting stuff, which I thought I'd just take the opportunity to capture it on camera so we can understand the context and relationship of it all before it gets renovated and converted into domestic type accommodation or whatever. So we've got this nice archway here which would have given access out onto the casting floor, i.e. where all the pig iron was let forth into the sand beds with pigs and sows and all that kind of thing. It's a spacious structure. The roof structure I'm just trying to show now. And here we are back round to where the partition was, if you like. At the foot of which, at the foot of which is this rather elegant staircase going up. Now that would have given access to the charge house up there, and I'll show you a bit outside later where that stairway would have ascended into daylight, as it were. Just study the structure of it for a second. There's these portals going through. This stairway seems to intersect this lower portal, so the stairway, I imagine, might have been a later development to what was originally there. I'll just see if I can get round the other side and show those portals as they are impinged by the staircase. Can you see the staircase behind there arcing up, and there's the upper portal. While I'm over here I'll just show the context of that new structure. So I'm right in the far corner here, and there's the large archway which was heretofore blanked off. And now we can see the structure beyond, and that further archway giving access to the casting floor. And here's just another view of those hold down bolts and things that I was gibbering on about in the last clip. I think yes, we've excavated it back to bedrock in this corner here. So there's actual bedrock, you know, so the structure actually sits in places upon blinking bedrock, you know, and you can't get better foundations than that, in my opinion. Oh yes, and there was a little sort of door steps going up here, and this was or is that portal which gave access to the inside of the water wheel radius, which I speculated was for greasing axles or clearing buckets from debris or something like that. So it's all coming together as we excavate and discover stuff. That's just a close-up of one of those bolts. Yeah, that one, you can actually see a thread form on it, can't you, I think? Anyway, back to the new exciting developments. So let me just swing these lights round. The main lights. So what have we got? What have we got? Yes. Oh. Yeah, there are various sort of beam notches up there. A beam notch right in the apex of the arch soldier course, if you like. Another one to the left there. I haven't got a laser pointer or a sharp beam, so I can't highlight these. But I'm talking about these features which are below those two square apertures. I'm talking about beam notches for joists or another floor potentially. Over here, the staircase again. And just above where that rubble is at the head of the stairway, you can see a sort of change in the structural makeup of this wall. It's like it was a certain height once upon a time, and then they decided to jack the roof line up, perhaps, I'm guessing 4 feet, perhaps it might be, you know, at a later date to give more headroom or more space for another floor or something like that, perhaps. Down here, I might have to get my other camera out in a minute to pick out some of these features, but there's a joist end projecting up there which might have been an original purlin for that lower roof line. Remember, I was just saying about this wall has been elevated 4 feet. Well, prior to that it would have had a roof on it. I'm speculating, of course, and that joist projecting might have been part of that original roof line which intersected this wall 4 feet lower down than what it does now. Over here, in fact, I can actually see a diagonal roof line, I believe, but like I say, I'll get my other camera out and zoom in upon it, but the lighting won't be very good. Over here, what's happened here? Again, there may be, it's less obvious, but there may be a sort of change in structural pattern here. Again, with that 4-foot jack up premise in mind. But yes, very spacious chamber. Lots of ivy crept in, of course. The roof structure, all very good. Lath and battens. Back round to that. Yeah, I might just come back with the other camera just to zoom in on some of these little finicky features that I've spotted, if the lighting will permit me. So yeah, let me just get over here and get a view looking back. This is private property in here, and I've been given permission by the owner just to record the architectural and spatial context of it all, because a lot of these details, once it's converted and you've got plaster up and kitchen cupboards or whatever might be going on here, you won't see these features ever again, you know. So that's why I think it's, sad though it be, important to capture these little features as and when they become visible, because otherwise it might be too late. Anyway, I'll just close this clip here, I think. Yeah. Here's the whole visage from a little bit further into the chamber, looking back at the archway which leads directly into the blowing half. I'll just zoom in a bit on some of these features above the arch, if I can. So we have let me see, 1, 2, 3 sort of beam socket kind of things, although they're not all in one line I see now, but the 2 upper ones are square and could have been something to do with a loft floor perhaps. Not sure about the one right in the middle of the archway itself, seems a bit incongruous, but let's just zoom in a little bit on those just to record the detail. So it's sort of rectangular-esque, isn't it? I'll come across now to the other one in the top of the archway. That's less uniform. And then the other one up there, again sort of rectangular. Just zoom back now. And then we have the larger square apertures just below the current roof line. I can see they have a stone lintel above, so they're quite deliberate in intent whilst building, perhaps, for when, you know, the original structure. Coming across to the other one. Well, that one hasn't got stone lintels, but it's got a collection of timbers serving as lintels. Very close to the current purlins. In fact, one of the purlins is actually on the timber lintel for that square aperture, which is a dodgy double sort of support mechanism, but still, I'll just zoom back out now. There we go. Now I'll just see if I can manipulate the lights to illuminate the far gable end as well, where there was a joist projecting and evidence of a former roof line. Okay, now we have the far gable end. This is the gable end furthest from the blowing chamber. Well, let's just have a look at some of the details there, if I can pick them out. The illumination's a bit better now, just zooming in. So there's that sort of joist end projecting. Purlin, I should say. Try and keep it steady because it's zoomed in. And you can sort of see, well, I think I can see a diagonal line just to the right of it. I'll zoom out a bit. So, let me get my finger in. So there's the joist, and then there appears to be a roof line here, a former roof line, diagonally streaking down, as it were, which again I believe would have intersected that change in coursework in this uphill bank wall. What else can we see? Up there, there's another projecting stub of timber. And a sort of roof line kind of feature, except it's made of timber actually, yes. You can see where it goes from rubble to brick. And there's like a timber bearer plate, as they call it, I believe, running down there. I do hope this imagery comes out alright. Let it auto-focus for a bit. And what else do we see? Oh, there's some timber wall plates there, I believe. There's another one there, but that might have been a later feature just to attach that soil stack vent pipe to, perhaps. Yes, I think I can discern, it's more subtle over there, I must admit. I think I can discern a sort of change in coursework. And then there's that intriguing little recess kind of feature. Yes, brickwork at the top there to make up the new gable end when the roof level was raised. It's brickwork, isn't it? It's probably old bits of fire brick actually. Can't quite tell because that's about 20 feet high. And again, the truss structure for the roof itself. There, I think I've captured all the salient details that might otherwise be obscured by development, so I'll close this clip here. So just next to the charge house there is this intriguing feature. There's this blinking stairway. You see. And it gives access to what we currently call the undercroft. Let me just get my light on. The undercroft here, over which the charge house floor itself projects. There's this elegant cast iron column here, and this undercroft gives access to this portal here, which you see from the inside of the main blowing chamber in the furnace itself. Okay, so this would have given access, I'm quite sure, to an upper floor within the blowing chamber, perhaps where they adjusted the bellows counterweights or the operating chains, or however it functioned. We don't fully understand at the moment. And there's that stairway, and of course this stairway, if you projected that line down, would have intersected, or coincided I should say, with that stairway coming up from the recently accessed chamber below. Now if you look at the structure here, there appears to be an abutment where the structure ends, i.e. there was an aperture, and I dare say, although it's hard to see at the moment, I dare say that if things were cleared a bit better, oh actually no, I think I can see it. I think I can see it. Just at the end of where that white board ends, just beyond the flower pots, or just before it actually, there is the other abutment, I speculate. So from that chamber below, one could have come from the bellows chamber, whipped through that arch, up the steps, come up to this flat, and you could have got then to the upper floor, or had you that in mind, you could have continued up the steps to the charge house and the loading area. You know what I'm saying, don't you? Anyway, it's all very intriguing. Nice to see new detail emerging. I've only been here for 30 years, and it's still sometimes fresh and new. Just like I say, that's the charge house floor above, under this this huge timber. You see how it's notched out? It's come from some other structure, hasn't it? You know, way in the past. It might have been a ship or a barn. Do you see these pockets and niches? I always struggle with that word. Is it niche or niche? These niches. That just sounds wrong, doesn't it? Niches. I think I'll stick with that. Yeah, all good stuff. Anyway, I think that captures it. Just review my footage and check it's all recorded properly. Thank you for watching.